What's up, babies? Welcome back to the Avarice Podcast. We're going to be doing another TV series companion today for The Wire, Episode 6, The Pager. Let's get this shit rolling. So I'm going to start off making a cup of coffee. I'll hit the bong. I'll cue you that I'm going to start the episode. And then we'll push this... we will push this boulder down the hill and watch the destruction. That would have been so much better if I didn't fuck it up the first time. So how are you guys? How you feeling? I'm feeling a little rough. Had a hard workout today. Been running around like a chicken with my head cut off ever since I got up. Doing this, that, and the other. Reselling. Gym, the grocery store, cooking dinner, hanging out with the family, posting listings, taking pictures, posting videos. It's like the beginning of every day sets in motion all of these different things that I have to get accomplished, and it's just this fucking race against the clock. Try to get them done. I imagine that's a lot of people identify with that feeling, and I'm not unique in that aspect, but it doesn't change the fact that's what I'm experiencing. It's like, god damn, get an extra 6 hours a day or something? Can we work that out? Can you guys like put a computer chip in my neck that makes it so I don't need sleep? Because something's got to give here. I want to do too many things for how many hours there are in the day. So back to the TV series. The last episode, if memory serves, ended with Wallace and Poot spotting Omar's boyfriend at the pinball place and calling up D'Angelo, who in turn called up Stringer, and they hauled him out of there, presumably to murder him as retaliation for robbing their stash house. So I already know, given that information, how this episode is going to start because I've seen the series that many times, but I will wait until I actually start playing it to talk about the current episode we're on. They do have the pen registers for all those pages, and they did crack the code, so they're going to be able to figure out the phone numbers. But D'Angelo is the only pager number that they have identified at this point. Everybody else, they haven't figured out the network. Oh, coffee's so hot. Hot. Too hot. What is that? Call that radar? What is all that churning and bubbling? No, sir, we call that Mr. Coffee. I always drink coffee when I watch Radar. Everybody knows that. Of course we do, sir. Brain seems to be firing a little bit slower than normal. The weed's gonna help. I don't know if it's the day I had or what, but you just seem a little bit more mentally taxed than normal. Alrighty then. Okay, so I'm watching episode 6, season 1 of The Wire on Amazon Prime, and I'm pushing play in 3, 2, 1, play.
3 is
Oh shit, there's a advertisement. Always forget. Okay, now I'm to the beginning of the episode and I'm pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. So, here is Omar's boyfriend laid out on the hood of a car, all beat to shit, tortured, burned, all that. Dead, obviously. And if you remember when they were playing basketball and Avon put the bounty on their heads, he was talking about, he said white boys, but hunters, when they shoot a deer and they have that shit right on the hood of the car, like splayed out for everybody to see. So they took that literal and they put that body right there in the courtyard at the pit where the stash got jacked to send a clear message to anybody else who wants to try them. And this is the last we're going to see of Wallace normal. And this is our first glimpse of his life. So they had an extension cord rigged up to the power pole, and that's how they have any electricity at all. Don't have running water. He just used a water bottle, and he's brushing his teeth with no toothpaste, spitting in the toilet. Busted out windows, no furniture. This is Poot's bedroom. It's just a mattress on the floor. He's got some hoe with him. And these are all presumably his siblings, but they all seem to be similar ages. So this is the responsibility he's got on his shoulders. He's not like, at the surface level, he looks like he's just some punk drug dealer caught up in the game. But now you see he's the most responsible person in this house. He's got like 7 little kids looking up to him to feed them, get them ready for school. It's a lot of fucking responsibility for somebody his age. He's like 15. And I know he's doing his best, but this is far from an ideal situation for those kids. They were sleeping in their clothes. They've been up for about 5 minutes, and now they're walking outside to go to school. And their lunch is a juice box and a bag of chips. Where did all these kids come from? See, and he didn't have one for this kid. This is a hard fucking life. You want to talk about poor? They're fucking poor. So is that place like condemned by the city? Is that why the animal trap thing is on there?
It's the worst case suicide I've ever seen.
It's definitely abandoned. The cop just said it's the worst gay suicide he's ever seen. That is some cold shit.
That's him right there.
And see, now is going to be a turn. Wallace is never going to be the same after this. He feels like he did that. He's responsible for this. And it's going to fuck him up. And if you walk through the garden, you better watch your back. 'Cause I beg your pardon off a straight and narrow track. If you walk with Jesus, He'll save your soul. I can't help it. I don't know what else to talk about when this the intro song comes on. I just want to sing along with it. Oh man, why do I feel so beat down today? So you get to see how we slowly, as the series progresses and we get introduced more to the depth of the characters, that's what really gets you hooked. They don't have a chance at the very beginning to show you all that. They have to build towards it. So I know of a lot of people who couldn't make it through the first few episodes. Thought it was too complicated, too boring, didn't explain itself well enough. But if you give it a chance, then it's fucking enthralling. And we're getting to that right now. I honestly, we're already to that. The last episode or two has kind of achieved that. Excuse me. It's really I think once they get the wire up and find out it's a code and there's yet another brick wall where you're like, this is different from your ordinary cop show. I think something's off with my EQ. Maybe not.
I don't care about your cases.
Huh.
I'm a reasonable guy.
His ass has got to be clenched so tight you couldn't squeeze a grain of sand through it.
Fucking guy. Am I right, Jay?
You are reasonable, sir.
Yes. Yes, I am. And because your sergeant knows me to be reasonable, he came in.
Landsman's tie is too short and Rawls is too long. It should come just down to the top of your belt, not cover your belt, not have half your belly exposed. Landsman looks like a little kid that tried to put on his dad's tie.
Major, I'm not. He's a good-looking kid, huh?
Actually, he looks like a dad that tried to put on his kid's tie.
Do you know what we do here, McNulty? What we do here?
It's one of those questions.
It's a question you don't really have to.
A rhetorical question. You were being rhetorical and reasonable, sir.
Why don't you shove your head farther up his ass, Landsman?
As they come in, one at a fucking time. It's called the rotation. You're up till you catch one. When you catch one, you sit down, you work it for a while, someone else steps up. It's a simple but effective way to do business.
They're pissed at Jimmy for wanting to pursue this case and taking himself out of the murder rotation.
Yes, sir. But if someone gets it into
But it's not the way most movies and TV shows make it seem, where it's like they get one case and they can just dedicate their life to it. There's going to be another case coming. Statistically, that is the way it works. There's going to be another case, and you only have so many detectives. So each detective is going to have to solve a case ever so often in order for that rate to be sustainable. And if you lose a guy, suddenly every detective would have to increase their success rate, and they would actually have less time to work on each of their cases in theory. So he basically told Jimmy he's got to finish up his detail or he doesn't get to come back. And he already knew that. He's got them feelers. Shit still got the tags on it. He dresses like he's a fucking rapper. Both in style, but also like he thinks he's super ballin'. Just tons of shooting brand new shoes in the boxes, cutting the tags off his clothes. Bet he ain't got shit saved. Took him so long to get ready. Early 2000s fashion.
No woman takes that long.
So this is shit, I don't remember her name. Orlando's girl. Works at the club. He finally brought her home. I guess he kicked the girl he was dating, his baby mama, to the curb.
Wow. You did all this, huh?
Brought her egg or two in the thing.
Yeah. My mama always said, don't let them get to cooking. Once they get into your kitchen, ain't nothing left to do but give them a key to your house.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, really? Because my mama said if they want to cook, you should probably eat. It doesn't mean much more than that.
It's just like you.
Yeah, you do.
Where's your mother?
Around the way.
want a key.
Why are you interrogating me like this? Like we're married.
She wants some new clothes, a necklace. She wants some pocket change. You know, trip down to the shore. She wants a credit card with her name on it.
She thinks she hit a meal ticket with you.
When it comes to pussy, ain't no free.
He's trying to get all hard and fake gangster while talking to her. Turned her off like that. Like, she rolled her eyes and she was done talking to him. Look at that CD tower. Oh, shit. The struggle. Even if you wanted to own all the music back then, you had to have somewhere to fucking put it. Now you just have an iPod or an iPhone, fucking 100 gigabytes, no problem. Like it's water.
Hey, it was getting good.
It's unmonitored.
It's what?
So now they're going to explain the parameters that allow them to listen to calls.
What's happening?
We got a tap on the courtyard payphone. Tomorrow will be up on 2 near the high rise.
So in order for them
Listen to anything.
to listen to a conversation, they have to have somebody on site at the payphone watching to identify that it's one of their targets before they decide to listen.
Detective, this right here.
This is great speech.
Now, when you came downtown to CID, what other kind of work were you expecting?
I want to say that to people all the time. They're like, oh, this fucking stuff or that fucking stuff. It's like, this is the job. What the fuck are you, this is it.
Yeah. Where at? Yeah, I'm fucking.
Charge it to the game, bitch.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yo, McNutty. Ooh, beautiful police helicopter. On Prime, this is gorgeous. I gotta say. Remastered in HD and whatever the hell. It's like watching it for the first time in some respects. Oh yeah, so funny. Dog scared me and I spilled coffee all over myself. Fucking joke's on me, right? Everybody have a big laugh. So this guy's just sitting out here baking in the sun on this fucking hood while they wait for a CSI unit to get out there.
We found him with the Kevlar, like the one Warden caught last week, so we thought maybe it might be a connection.
Yeah, it connects. Don't have a name, but he's part of a stakeout crew. Took out the stash house last month.
So Jimmy knows what's up, knows that it's Omar's boy.
Jesus, they must have killed this kid 4 or 5 times.
Cut him in a dozen places, burn him with cigarettes. Goddamn torture fest, what it was.
Doesn't look like you're seen either.
Fuck him up somewhere else, dump him here for all to see.
Anything we can use?
Like they went hard on him. It looks like his eye is missing. He was cut a dozen times, burned with cigarettes, beaten.
Or we just stand around here and let this guy go right on us?
Waiting for crime lab?
Over an hour, only 2 units on the street, and both of them are off the city council president's.
Somebody stole the city council president's lawn furniture, and both CSI units are out there looking for fingerprints and shit on his patio.
Show me the son of a bitch that can fix this police department. I get back half my overtime.
It's Jimmy.
Inside was hanging out. Fucked up, yo. I mean, damn.
Sometimes you gotta send a message, yo. I mean, yo, when you picked up that phone, what you think they was gonna do, huh? All that shit is in the game.
Yeah,
man.
Wallace was just acting the way he thought a good soldier acts, but he wasn't taking the time to question if that's what he actually wanted to do. He didn't look at the chess move. He didn't see what the result was going to be and ask himself if that was a result he could live with or that he wanted.
Give me a ginger ale and get some for yourself. Yeah, I know, I remember that, but it ain't like that, is it?
Yeah, I know. I know it ain't. Thing about it was his eye. His eye was blown out. And the other one was open. And yo, dang.
It fucks me up.
It's like he's looking out and he sees everything, you know?
Don't think about it.
And you can't be off the chain like this in the drug game. You're a liability.
Let that shit go.
He either needs to bounce out and be done with it or swallow it and press on. But this stewing in it is not going to do him any service. See, now, as I was talking about before, they got Carver up there scoping, and he can identify that D'Angelo's on the phone, holler back at the office and tell him.
Mark still kid on the line.
And now they know that they can listen in on the conversation. Or they know that he's sending the page, I should say. Now they'll wait for him to get the return call, I suppose. Oh, they got Stringer. You're talking about Bodie on the phone right now. Stringer's asking if Bodie is valuable enough to the Enterprise to spend lawyer money on, basically. So he's calling and asking D'Angelo, is it worth us spending the money to get Bodie out of jail? But they don't come right out and say that. You got to really listen to what they're saying. That sounded stupid. I said that they don't come right out and say that. You got to listen to what they're saying, but they're kind of vague. He doesn't use a name. He says the little hopper, the one who dropped a man with the punch, meaning the cop. And then he says he's worth bringing home, right? Like, they never say anything about a crime, a lawyer, who they're talking about. Still very, very disciplined. Yo, Jimmy! Jimmy!
Impressive.
And now, here's the result of that conversation.
I'm so prepared for a juvenile commitment meeting.
In addition to those signed statements from Preston's sponsors at the Police Athletic League.
This is just in some little peon court, a juvenile fucking hearing. And he's got 2 expensive attorneys there against this fucking public defender.
Not one, but 2 attorneys from your firm, Mr. Lee.
Or not public defender, district attorney, whatever.
Identify a number of city youths who are in crisis to undertake efforts to reorder their lives.
I think that his grandma's buying into it. She doesn't realize that he's going to be deeper in the game once this happens, because now you owe them. They spent money on your ass.
Away from the JSA facility.
You got to work that off.
The client stands ready to acknowledge that he was involved for a time in the sale of a small amount of drugs, a transaction for which he received no remuneration, having been manipulated by older traffickers in his neighborhood. That was a mistake, Your Honor.
He doesn't even have to think of a lie. He just has to agree.
That it was Preston who was the victim of a brutal police beating. Indication
While this lawyer spews out this false narrative,
struck back.
sways the judge.
In self-defense, Your Honor.
And the walk away?
Preston was heavily medicated when he left the Cheltenham facility. In that state, Your Honor, he was simply trying to get back to us here.
Oh, now we need to pull on the heartstrings.
Did you know where you
Bodie's sitting there like, God damn, this story's watertight. He can't believe it.
Nah, I was messed up.
He looks ridiculous in that suit.
Just, I don't know. I'm ready to be good.
Pending a hearing on these charges to be scheduled within 6 months. I'm putting a respondent on home monitoring with his grandmother.
See, they put him on home monitoring, but he can't do that because she doesn't have a telephone.
It's not a fixed income, Your Honor.
How about he calls his probation officer twice a week?
So he has to call his probation officer twice a week. That's the deal. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He punched a cop and escaped a juvenile facility. And he just has to call his probation officer twice a week. Being a probation officer is probably like the worst job, huh? Is that the most thankless job there is? Are you ever dealing with anybody that's happy to see you? Damn, I'm a Viking, Holmes. So he's out of the hospital, ripping and running again.
This guy here is an honest day's work for honest day's pay. Right about? Oh, Mr. Straight Time Bubble. You know, gotta give a little something back when they least expect it.
You know, okay, we got something on too. Got a plan.
Johnny's got a plan. So Bubbles is trying to play it straightish. He's working for this weird off-brand fruit cart on the side of the road. Trying to do it honest, but I doubt he's making much money. How much could you make selling that fruit? And there's two of them. They're splitting it. Like the whole damn fruit cart might take in, what, 40 bucks in a day? Oh, excuse me. That horse looks a lot like the horse from the 5th season. I wonder if it's the same. I've just never noticed. Now what do we got going on? Omar coming? No, Omar's not coming. Oh, Bodie's home. And Herc and Carver, rightly so, see him, and they're like, he fucking walked again. There's no way he should be free. So now he's about to get his ass whopped again. Because these assholes don't bother to, like, check his record and see if he's been released. I don't know how that stuff gets updated, but they just assume he walked again. But you kind of have to understand that, because from their point of view, it's unfathomable that he would be gone or out already. Excuse me. My bad. See, they're using these different conversations to be able to track which number's who. So this is Stinkum's pager, that was Stringer's pager, Bodie's pager. They can figure out the whole network, and then they know who's calling who every time. It's pretty badass.
Non-pertinent. How do you log that non-pertinent?
No drug talk?
They use codes that hide their pager and phone numbers. And when someone does use a phone, they don't use names. And if someone does use a name, he's reminded not to. All of that is valuable evidence.
See, that's...
Conspiracy.
I put the mic up because there's no way that I could repeat what he says as eloquently and perfectly as he says it.
We're building it from scratch. All the pieces matter.
Presbalewski is amazeballs. It's such a fortunate position for Presbalewski to find himself in, because he was on casualty squad. He was fucked. He was a laughingstock. And he's actually gaining some useful skills and finding his passion all at the same time. When he was written off by everybody, including himself, and he was just kind of getting carried along by Valchek. Now he actually presents value. And he's happy about it. Oh, here's the ass whooping I was talking about. Oh, man. Hope that's not coming through too loud. I'm turning away. Oh, Jesus.
Let me tell you something. Okay, this is just my opinion, but juvenile system in this city is fucked up. It's a big ass fucking joke.
No offense. And it kind of is. I mean, you get to see exactly what they're dealing with and how futile it must feel to be a police officer at this time in Baltimore. Not even, like Chris D'Elia would say, no dents. Not even a fucking dent. They're out there doing police work all goddamn day and not even a fucking dent. Now what's Rawls gonna get pissed off about? Every time you see Rawls, he's pissed off. That's basically all he does. Except for in a couple seasons from now, you see him in a gay bar and it never gets addressed. Well, I'm jumping ahead, but believe it or not, there's a scene where Rawls is in a gay bar. And not on police work, like he's hanging out there. Like they're implying that he's closeted gay. But you also see his picture of his wife and kid on his desk. And D'Angelo's figured out who's been stealing from him. And he goes about it in a hard and cold manner, but way softer than Avon or Stringer would do if they found out who it was. He sends the message, he switches it up, takes care of it in-house, nobody needs to get a beating. He's just gonna break her eggs right in front of her while looking her dead in the face. She's not gonna do a goddamn thing about it.
What? Raymond, you look fresh today.
I played last night, that's why.
Oh, yeah? Your asshole still hurting? Rose finally got around to reading the offer.
See, I don't know if it's the setting or the context, but those jokes play so much better in a TV show like The Wire than they do in some kind of like raunchy, over-the-top juvenile movie. It's the same joke. I don't get it.
All right, no problem. So who the fuck are we supposed to charge?
I'm gonna take a piss real quick. Y'all listen to the show.
D'Angelo Barksdale at the scene of the murder, the night of the murder. You got a ballistics match between the Crescent Girl and the two dead mopes in the project where Barksdale hangs. Run with it.
This weak ass shit is not gonna get past a grand jury.
Charge the mope and work it more afterward. Talk to me, let him know.
Yo. Hey, listen up. New deal. Wallace, we're gonna be on the status now with Troy and Peaches. But what about Stir? Girl ain't he gonna be down on Preston looking out for a while. Cassandra too. Well, what happened? Nothing. Why you wanna change up? Nigga, I gotta explain shit to you now.
Alright, I'm back on it. So basically he's removing all responsibility from the people that were stealing from him, but there's not really any punitive action beyond that.
He's lit at 9 in the morning.
The night before.
And this useless piece of shit, sloppy and drunk at 9 in the morning coming to work. I have no tolerance for that.
Detective Polk.
If you need to have a drink in the morning to get by, what the fuck ever. But you don't need to be so sloppy drunk that it's coming out of your pores and you can't walk.
Yes, but nothing. All the painting. Right.
I have kind of strong feelings about sloppy drunks. It's a personal thing.
Why did you become...
I'm not into it.
I had some... To pretend that you were here?
Yeah, just to be a warm body. Fill a spot somebody else could have had. Take a paycheck somebody else could have had.
Twice his prayers, once was a nothing.
Earn a pension somebody else could have had.
Well, Lieutenant,
Failed to solve crimes someone else could have solved. I'm not really into working. I just was kind of hoping I could coast through the rest of my years, if that's possible.
Oh, hell, Lieutenant, why don't you just send me back to property and keep everybody happy? Send you back to property.
Oh, my neck is so tight. Why don't you guys come and rub my neck? Fuck. It doesn't have to be sexual. unless you're female and attractive, and then maybe it can be. We'll see.
Medical for alcohol abuse. Either dry yourself out or
The way he looked at him, like it was such a ridiculous thought that he's abusing alcohol. He's clearly an alcoholic. Horribly so. Binging like a motherfucker. What kind of life? Like, do you look forward to nothing ever besides drinking? You're not trying to get anything? You didn't want to be anything? You're just packing it in? It's over?
Lieutenant, we need a file cabinet or two. Paperwork from this. I mean, there's a lot of it. Lieutenant, sir,
But
good luck with the case.
Cedric gave him a come to Jesus meeting. Told him either go check yourself in for abuse or go out and work drunk, and he's leaving. So the assumption would be that he's going to recovery. He's going to check himself in for alcohol abuse and go to rehab. And I believe he does that. So the thing that Rawls got pissed off about, I was right, Rawls always gets pissed off. He saw that Jimmy and Bunk found the gun shell at the Deidre Crescent murder and matched it to the Gant murder. So now Rawls wants them to drop charges and put those two murders down, despite the fact that that would compromise their case entirely. They're trying to build this whole thing. You build the pieces and then you go in all at once and get everybody. You don't start arresting people at the bottom before you find your way to the top, or you'll never get there. It's like breaking the rung of the ladders as you climb. You're going to get to a spot where you can't climb anymore.
Daniels has been trying to put the brakes on this for weeks now. This will be his new excuse to close shop.
Well, look, you guys gotta make him.
I guess you could if you're breaking the ones below you, but if you start breaking rungs on the ladder above you, you're done. You're trapped where you are. Might as well jump off, get a new ladder.
Daniels and his fucking ass kissing up the chain of command ambition. What are the choices?
It's in the beautiful city square or whatever this is. Look at that building, god damn. Oh, excuse me. So they're debating on what they're going to do, and they've decided that they have to take it to Daniels and see if he can head it off, because otherwise they're buried anyway. Now we catch back up with Bubbles, Johnny, their mastermind plan to steal some fucking copper plumbing. I mean, they're creative. It's not like they're unwilling to do something, but if they could just put this into a more constructive endeavor. They've got the wood up there so they can... Oh, man. They're prepared for this. Oh, god damn it. He's still got the colostomy back on. That is... Stealing copper pipe. Onion soup. He put onion soup in the bag. He runs fucked up. Damn.
Welcome, Crown to me. When I go to your friend the judge.
I don't see a circuit court judge being able to argue the city homicide commander out of 3 murders. Even if the cases are all weak sisters, it's put up or shut up time, Lieutenant. Either you step up.
So, in Jimmy's eyes, this is a test of where Cedric's loyalties lie. Is he a company man, or is he interested in putting the case down and doing good police work? Because they don't seem to line up. Being a good cop, somebody who wants to solve shit, doesn't seem to be the agenda of the higher-ups at the police force. So that's why Jimmy doesn't fit in. So he's testing Cedric to see if Cedric is with him or if Cedric's with the company. And this is a rare sighting of Avon down at the courtyard. and almost nobody even knows what he looks like. Nobody ever sees him or meets him. He's got all those nice clothes. He never goes anywhere. And then you got flanking him, Stringer and Stinkum. So they're down here basically to give props for finding Omar's boy and to pay out the bounty on his head and see how the operation's running, I suppose. It's like a CEO checking in on a franchise. What are you doing down here in the jacks?
How we doing? Doing good. We doing good. You know, you say we doing good. What's up? Yo, so the word is out about these stick-up boys, right? Yeah. Yeah, we in there. Alright. You go shorty right there.
See, they want to be sure that the message was sent, that everybody knows what's going on. And now Stinkum's going to run over there and pay out Wallace.
4,000 on Omar, 2,000 on each of the youngest. This being a team effort, I'm putting $500 in the boy hand doing the scope. I'm putting $500 in your hand for doing the relay. Put $500 in Weebay and Bird hand for doing the muscling up.
So the Weebay and Bird had to kill that dude and they only got paid $500 each. Doesn't seem worth it to me. How often are you killing people if that's all you're getting paid?
Cut everybody loose on Friday.
Or is that like a bonus on top of your salary? I don't understand how the inner workings of the pay structure in a drug enterprise go. They got a payroll.
Keep on doing like how you doing. We'll be talking about points on the package.
Alright.
Keep it humming.
Yeah, most definitely. Alright, take it light, but take it. Yeah.
Take it light, but take it. That's kind of I end every podcast with be easy. And that's kind of just, you're going to have to deal with some shit. But just try to just be easy. Just calm down. Let's be easy. When you're in a situation where you could be a real hard ass on somebody and really fuck up their day and really just exercise some authority on it, whatever the case may be, just try to be easy. Be easy until it's time to not be easy. Roadhouse reference. But that's it. It's you just be nice. How do we know when to not be nice? You won't. I'll let you know. See, that's where he fucks up. Because now they have to rely on him to be their the barometer of right and wrong. If he's not around, they don't know what to do. You have to teach them the circumstances where it's appropriate. This is Daniels going to bat for the detail, trying to keep the murders within their case.
Good information. You charge these premature men in Barksdale with change up on us. The work we've already done.
I can't tell you how to run your case, Lieutenant. I can only run my own.
It's major.
He's patronizing him,
I'm asking you
treating him like a child that doesn't know what he's talking about.
a favor. Yes, sir. A favor.
In that case,
No.
no. Sorry.
Rawls is such a dickhead. Everybody's worried about protecting their spot, justifying their job,
Work sucks.
showing that they're doing something.
Why not? So it's all in
That jacket that McNulty is wearing is an Old Navy jacket that I had when I was a freshman in high school. Actually, I think I had it in 8th grade, except for mine was black with red stripe. I don't know why I told you guys. It's just one of those, you see it and you go, fuck, that's crazy. I had that jacket.
Who's this? Who?
This is Omar just hit up Jimmy. He wants to see Brandon, his dead boyfriend. He's pretty broken up about it. And this is a crack den. This is what a heroin addict's place looks like, because they're so inside their mind that they don't even notice how shitty the environment is. It's all about getting high and living inside their head. As long as inside their head is cool, everything else is cool.
I got a plan too. What? You gonna wait?
Their existence is so based around chasing the next fix and getting high. The trivial things like cleaning the house never enter into the priority list. Never even think about it. Johnny still got the fucking belt on his arm.
Yeah. Good. Could top off with one more. One more.
One is too many and 1,000's never enough. Johnny's got it.
Johnny got it.
So Johnny's going to go down and get one last hit for him, but it's never one last hit because tomorrow they're going to need one more, and then it's a failure in logic in so many ways. I guess we're going to cut to Omar right now, but we'll see what happens with Johnny in a minute. So McNulty takes his kids to go pick up Omar.
It's my night with the kids.
Looks like he's been crying. I think they go to the morgue to see Brandon. And I've referenced this before, but Brandon didn't talk. Brandon didn't give up information about Omar. When you consider what we saw of his character and then see what they put him through, I didn't think that he was that hard. I didn't think that he was so tough that he would literally be tortured to death and not give any information about Omar. Like, that shit is crazy. There's very few people in the entire course of the series that are that hard. There's a scene later on in the series where Avon's talking about Weebay, and he says Weebay's hard like a rock. Like that kind of, like, fucking unshakable. We don't get a lot of character development on Brandon, but you know that he's Omar's boyfriend. He robs drug dealers. He's a bit cocky, kind of a loudmouth, and apparently hard as fuck. Like, apparently he's one of the most gangster dudes on the show. We just never got to see it.
Why you punk Sterling like you did?
They never reference the hours, but it seems like they're running this shit from sunup to sundown, right? Well, I guess like 9 a.m. to fucking 9 p.m. Is that what they're running? 12-hour day every day? I know they're making money hand over fist, and they can support their family and buy clothes and shit, but when do they ever get to, like, go do something?
They're gonna take a baseball bat to Sterling, probably one to Cassandra too.
I can understand grinding like that if you have to survive, like if you're in Wallace's spot, but D'Angelo, when does he ever get to go fucking have some fun?
That wasn't right.
He's living comfortable, but he's still got to grind every goddamn day like he's broke.
All that shit. So he told me to punk y'all for
Then again, it's kind of my life.
Was they snitching? Sterling and Cash?
I make zero money from doing podcasts, zero money from doing YouTube videos, and I still crank them out like it's my fucking job. But I'm still doing other shit on the side to actually make my money so that I can pay my bills and stuff. I'm sustaining it right now, but there may come a day where I have to prioritize, and the shit that I'm not getting any ROI on will go by the wayside. So if you're hearing this, click the like button, share, subscribe, all that support. Let me know that I need to keep going, that this is worth it. So Omar is at the morgue, seeing Brandon. Look at that beautiful old Navy jacket. You ain't gonna kiss a dead body, are you? Because that's fucking... He screams so loud. I've done that before. I'm usually alone, though. I don't like people to see that in me.
You up to this?
Pay it back, Omar. Pay it back.
So, remember earlier, just a couple episodes ago, and Omar said he didn't agree with snitching because he didn't think the game was played like that. Well, now he's about to go down and snitch. He feels justified because they killed his boyfriend, but either the game allows for such actions or doesn't. So I think you need to amend your rules, bro.
Saying, why we ain't no real police officers? Well, we're a little like you, Omar. Out here on our own, playing the game for ourselves.
Where they fuck up is Omar is going to look at their board that has the network of the drug enterprise on it with everybody's names and pager numbers. And he gets to... I don't know exactly what he takes from that. I think he takes a pager number. I'm not sure.
Of course, he had his reasons.
For one thing, y'all did take his stash.
For another, he was looking for you, Omar. That's what all the cigarette burns were about. Broken fingers, cracked forearms.
Yeah, see, the cigarette burns, broken fingers, cracked forearms. And he didn't talk.
Yeah.
I know you want to go to wherever it is.
Like, that's like when you're watching a UFC fight and a dude just won't tap and lets his arm get broken or something like that. Like, that's that level of fucking willpower.
But one man with two barrels ain't enough, Omar.
But he also probably realized they were going to kill him regardless, so giving up Omar wasn't going to help, and it was only going to put Omar at more risk.
Just throw us what you can.
And that scar on his face is real. I don't know the story, but Michael K. Williams actually has that scar on his face. And you know that if you saw him in as Chalky White in Boardwalk Empire. He's also in The Sopranos for a couple episodes. Jackie Jr. goes and stays with him up in New York. And that's where he's staying when he gets killed.
When did you last see Brandon?
Tuesday. Around 7, 8.
Now Omar's wearing an Old Navy jacket. Because the logo's the same. It's not the same style, but it's got the same logo.
When the Greeks on Baltimore Street?
They like to play them pinball games to death.
You go alone?
Yeah,
See, if Freeman's hearing this,
you can only treat a young man like a boy for so long for they...
and he's realizing what the pages that they have from the night before or 2 nights ago mean. It's the murder happening. And McNulty freaks the fuck out on Daniels.
But you were worried about Brand, right?
Look at my game. You take some care. You play the safest way you can. But it ain't about no hiding forever. You heard? And frankly, you've been in it as long as me.
You do it on your name.
Anyone gonna come after Omar, they're gonna know Omar is coming after him.
Oh, indeed.
So, who came after Brandon?
I heard he might have been...
Goddamn, Omar's gangster.
Boy Stankum and Bird.
Like, you want to talk about Scarface? This is fucking Scarface right here. I know everybody holds the movie Scarface up on this pedestal like it's this great fucking movie. It's actually not. It's a pretty bad movie. Al Pacino's decent in it. It's an okay story, but compared to like The Godfather and Goodfellas and shit like that, it is not even close. And sure, he says some some catchy things. He has some sound bites in Scarface.
Probably from a payphone, probably string of bell calls.
He's cold, he's raw, but he is not as calculated, intelligent, and gangster as Omar is.
That went to D'Angelo's pager to start the whole damn thing off. You see that? This is the murder right here. This first number.
See, Freeman is explaining to Jimmy the order of the pages, who called who, when, and what was orchestrated. And Jimmy goes straight over and rips Daniels a new asshole about not being up on the tower phones.
He's on you. We're up on those payphones Tuesday night. We catch that murder shit. We get there before the murder. It's all here on the pen registers. This one calling that one calling back. We're up on those payphones when we should be, and we have them cold. But we're not up in time, are we? In this case, we're never where we need to be.
Welcome to life, Jimmy. You think that's exclusive to the Baltimore Police Department? That's damn near any corporation you'll ever work for, any entity.
Bad time for y'all?
There's a scene, I don't remember, I think it's in the 5th season, where somebody's outside and they're like, I wonder what it's like to work at a real newspaper. And there's somebody else, I wonder what it's like to work at a real police station. I think that everybody that works everywhere feels that. You think that you have this glamorized image of perfection about what it's like there, or what a proper place runs like, and then you get in and it's people and they're flawed and there's mistakes and there's fuckery, and it just always seems to be held together with hot glue and bubble gum. So now they're at the restaurant where the page originated, where Brandon got arrested, quote unquote.
It's a match.
No. I need help. Rolls ranks me. Lieutenant, think what you're doing here. You're gonna cross Bill Rolls? As ruthless a fuck as we have in this department. And to do what?
So Daniels appears to have his heart invested in the case at this point. He's actually going and trying with the guys downtown.
My career. Thank you very much. In the cemetery,
Stonewalled.
by the name of Bird killed a working man.
Yeah, that man who testified.
William Gator. Right.
Yeah, Bird did that one for sure.
How you know?
Everybody know, man.
See, so Omar is saying that Bird, who I don't think, Bird was in the car with Stringer and Weebay. Bird killed the witness in D'Angelo's trial that testified.
Yeah, 380. You get him, you get the gun. Because Bird too dumb to throw a gun like that off.
A gun alone is enough.
Oh, no?
He goes to court, testifies he bought the gun on the street after Gale was killed.
Come on now, so what be enough then?
Eyeball witness. Some kind of corroboration for what you're telling me.
Kima doesn't realize it, but she's fucking up right now.
Okay.
Okay, what?
I'm your man.
You saw the murder.
Yeah.
She's asking him what he knows, and he's telling her, and she says it's not enough to charge him. And he says, well, what do you need? And she says, I'd need an eyeball witness, just kind of, shooting the shit with him, just being straight, being real for a second. And he thinks about it and says, fine, I'm your witness.
Well, Lieutenant Daniels and his Murray Band,
Even though he really didn't witness it.
beepers and payphones and body mics.
She left an opening there, and he walked through it. He's willing to say whatever to fuck those guys over.
The victim is identified by our witnesses as being involved with Avon Barksdale.
Sir, we're developing
You're
information.
dancing around this thing. I'm charging 3 murders.
You charge those cases. My investigation follows. And what's more, not one of those cases is gone.
Cedric's actually gone
Bring the Barksdale kid in. Throw a little
to the top
the case becomes strong.
to argue this against Rawls.
Before, he's gonna go for less the third time around.
So we recanvass, develop fresh witnesses.
Yeah, the same old bullshit taglines you use to the newspapers that mean you aren't doing a goddamn thing.
We get a conviction, we roll little boy Barksdale and the big boy Barksdale, and we go home like good old-fashioned cops and pound some Budweiser.
You're delusional.
Is bullshit.
Yes, it is.
It was McNulty himself who made the ballistic match on these murders, and he's telling me to fight this. He knows you don't have a viable prosecution. So do you, so do I. Enough.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If they do charge these murders, they're not even going to win the cases.
I'm spending $2,000 a day over the unit operating budget to staff the case. Now, Major Rawls here is offering a chance to leverage Barksdale through a murder prosecution. Why not jump on this?
Because there's not enough evidence in there to charge the murders anyway.
He's right a month from now. And if the wire doesn't give us a case, he can charge all the murders he has. We lose nothing. But if he's wrong, if he can't convict, or if the Barksdale kid doesn't flip, then it's too late to do anything else. Avon Barksdale changes up his pattern.
Gotcha, you little fuck.
And at that point, there isn't going to be a thing.
Rawls is also racist. There's a tinge of racism there. Plus, he's a closeted gay guy and probably self-hating.
You wanted to see me, Major?
So it's just spewing venom.
He cheats on a run sheet, I want to know. He runs
Uh,
I want to know.
Now, Rawls is going to use Santangelo as a mole within the detail to rat on fucking McNulty.
He does no wrong. He doesn't drink anymore. Doesn't drink on duty. Doesn't drink and drive, detective.
Oh, come on.
You gotta help me on this, Michael.
Asking him to rat on a fellow police officer. And this whole time, Santangelo's been in the wind most days, and McNulty's been covering for him.
The murder warrant's on hold. The deputy gave us another month.
This is where McNulty finds out Cedric's a real one.
Give yourself up as an eyewitness in the Gantt murder.
Omar.
Real, recognize real.
Greg said to tell you she rounded up in the morning.
Lieutenant. Thanks.
He finally knows where he stands. He finally, he feels like he can throw his energy into this case and everybody involved. Sorry. He feels like he can throw his energy into this case and everybody involved is equally interested in the outcome. Basically, Freeman asked Cedric if they broke his balls, which you already know. It's basically the look he gave him. He's looking at the pictures of the dead body, too. It's fucking him up. It's weighing on his conscience that they possibly could have prevented that. Look at that. And that's how the episode starts, and that's how the episode ends, with the image of that body. So, there we go with episode 6 of The Wire. Quote, the pager. So, as a recap, we got the murder. Well, it's kind of a continuation because they picked up Homeboy at the end of the last episode. At the beginning of this episode, he's dead, laid out on front of the car for everybody to see, which is a reference to what Avon was talking about while they were playing basketball and how hunters will have a deer on the front of their car. Wallace sees it. He gets fucked up in the head. He starts to get into a tailspin. He also gets rewarded financially for this behavior, which is conflicting message compared to what he's feeling emotionally. We got Bubbles trying to play it straight for 2 seconds and then ripping and running with Johnny. Johnny goes out for one more hit, gets arrested. As Bubbles says, that boy ain't got no luck. And then we've got the struggle of the detail trying to keep those murders from being charged because it's going to ruin their case. And basically, Cedric coming to the forefront as a member of the good fight and saying, I stand on the side of solving this case the right way, going against my commanding officers, which is a big move. And McNulty is made happy and pence by this. So I appreciate you guys listening. We'll be continuing on. I'm actually probably going to record the next one directly after this, although it won't drop for a few days in comparison. Nonetheless, thanks for listening. Click the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, comment, and call me a fucking asshole. All of the above. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.